Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Hobby CNC with Dave show. I'm here live from my very toasty garage. It's pretty warm out here tonight, but hey, we're going to do a little demonstration of the newfangled 60-degree Groovee Jenny. So I'm looking forward to that. Got some stuff set up back here, and I haven't even tried it out yet, so we'll see how it works out. Let me bring in my crew here. Sean is here tonight, and he's helping me out with the Wolfman duties. Ryan is out of town on vacation, so he's going to help me with flagging the comments and stuff like that. So let me. Okay, I just want to check your mic settings there. And we got Mr. Paul Corliss back in the house. Rob Schuster's here as well. And, of course, the man of the hour tonight is going to be this guy right here, Mr. Cody Elkins. How you doing? How's everybody doing?
Good. Thank you.
We're going to be, like I said, doing a live demonstration. We're going to be, I wanted to show this. This is Cody's website here, where you can go get your Jenny bits and stuff. And tonight's, I got behind. I haven't even set that up. I need to change this. Well, I'll do this while I'll let you guys kind of introduce yourselves. Give me a minute to get caught up here on some housekeeping stuff. Sean, tell us a little bit about yourself, and we'll go around the horn here.
Oh, I'm just the average shot player, I guess. Not a lot, I guess. I've never explained myself before. Sorry about that. I love CNC. Anything CNC, you throw it my way, I enjoy it.
Okay, all righty. Paul?
I'm Paul Corliss, Paul's Messy Workshop, and it is. And I appreciate you having me on, Dave.
All right, well, I'm glad you're here, Paul. Rob, go ahead and talk a little bit about yourself. I'm going to get the giveaway tool set up while
you I'm Rob.
That.
Okay, Rob Schuster, down in Arizona, about an hour south of Cody, and I love CNC. I'm always trying something different and inventing and often messing up, but you don't see those too often. You only see the successes, but trust me, for every success, there's probably 3 or 4 failures. But I like experimenting and trying new stuff all the time.
Okay, and then Cody?
Hi, everyone. My name's Cody Elkins. I'm just like everyone else here. I'm just an old millbilly who likes creating G-code and making chips, so I'm excited tonight. Thank you.
Okay, and as I mentioned all the time, Cody is the sponsor of our weekly live giveaway. He's been doing this every Saturday night now for quite some time, so we appreciate that. And tonight's giveaway we'll be doing in a little bit. You want to put in hashtag Jenny in the chat. I've got the giveaway tool already working, so starting to collect those. So make sure you put hashtag Jenny just like it looks there in the chat. And I'll give you a little tease here, I guess, if I can find it. Let's see. It was I got to make sure I get the right one. The downtown Jenny, right, Cody?
Sure. Yep.
That one right there. That's what we'll be giving away tonight.
Man, those are almost too pretty to use.
Yeah, they are gorgeous. And I have another camera set up here, so we will be showing this here in just a little bit as soon as I get the machine fired up. But we're going to be running some tests. I don't know if you can see it, and I'm using my mouse like you can see it, and I know you can't, you can't see what I'm pointing at. But back there, it is already got checked up in the spindle. So we will. If anybody's got any questions, like I said, Sean's going to be doing Wolfman duty tonight. He'll be flagging the questions. And while y'all are doing that, I'm going to fire this thing up and get it ready to go. So I can still talk and hear and everything because of the Bluetooth headset I'm on, but y'all go ahead and answer any questions that pop up. I should have already had this thing ready to go, but
I
get
keep
set.
popping up the wrong one here.
Get set in here.
There we go. Yes, Ryan.
Yeah, we always miss you, buddy. But have fun on your vacay there, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's see if I've got. This thing will take just a minute to boot up. And while I'm waiting on that to boot up, I'll tell you a little bit about what we got. Like I said, I've got the 60-degree jitty bit back there already done. I bought a 1x10 by 6 foot long piece of pine board. I couldn't even find a good select pine. It's really getting to be slim pickings at Home Depot and Lowe's both. But anyway, I dug through, went through, you know how it is. They're leaned up against the thing, and you got to dig through them to find one that's halfway decent. So I found one that didn't have very many knots in it. I have sanded them to about 400 grit, and I cut them into pieces, 4 pieces, 18 inches long. As you will be able to see here as soon as I fire up this other camera. We got just a blank piece right here. This one I've got this. I put a little ebony stain on so we can get some contrast with that. I also have a piece with the ever popular Aura mask. And then this, I have to laugh every time I hold this up. This is some El Cheapo dollar store shelf liner.
Awesome.
So we're gonna see how it cuts through that, and if it pulls it up or what it does. So let me get this thing fired up. Sean, keep watching for any questions that pop in. And I know somebody out there said that they had a bunch of questions they were going to ask Cody.
We're getting a few.
Okay.
Let's see what I can find.
I saw somebody asked if you're going to do a 30-degree downcut ever, Cody. Is that on the plans?
I don't know yet. I need to do the math, see if it's possible. I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be awesome to have a whole line, have a 30, a 60, and a 90.
I have my 60, but I haven't even taken it out of the package yet. I don't have any V-carb projects right now, but I'm excited to use it. But yes, I've never used 90, so I didn't get a 90 from it because I haven't used a 90 in 2 years probably. I always use 60 and then 30s or 45s. So.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a good question for Cody.
Yeah.
Can you please provide some type of proof on these V-bits having down shear? I wonder if he means by down cut. That's your deal. Also, on the tip of the V-bit, in your photo, you can see the flutes don't all meet at the point.
Right.
And I need.
Actually, that's a great question. Thank you for asking it. So, what I've done that's unique and that So when I was taking these bits and I was looking at the typical V-bits that I'm used to, I was using a lot of the other brazed carbide, V-bits. And the reason why, I'm going to first answer the tip question. So on all of the other V-bits, it's just 2 flute and they just come straight to center. The problem with that is that the tip never truly cuts. So I made the downshear V-bits with 3 flutes, and then what I did is I relieved 2 back so that 1 flute truly goes to the center. And so in doing that, that should give you a nice, clean cut at the bottom. And then in regards to the down shear, if you're looking at the bit and sitting straight up and down, it actually has a forward angle of about 7 degrees, which gives a down shear geometry. So I don't know how else to really answer that other than the fact that it's not a straight flute, it's not an upcut. It has a forward shear action that gives it the down shear cut.
Good one. Let's see here.
So I hope I answered that well.
Sounded good. Okay.
Yeah, I wish I could zoom in on the bit and show you.
Oh, I just got rid of one.
If you're holding it up and you draw a center line straight down, you can see how the forward action of the flute's coming forward. I don't think there's any way I could show it on this, but it actually, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if this is, probably can't see it any better there either.
Yep.
Let's see. Dave, did you get the Vetric file for the coin bank from Harry Ragland? I believe I said that Rogland.
I did, but I haven't even looked at it yet. Or I guess that's what he's talking about. I got an email from him that had a bunch of files, or had a VCAR file or something in it. So. Oop.
Hey, Cody, do you know when your 60-degree down cuts are going to be back in stock?
Yeah, so I should have them in probably 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
They're in production as we speak, the 60s and the 90s.
This time, no matter if I'm at the grocery store, the hardware store, I don't care if it wakes me up in the middle of the night. I'm going to order it as soon as I get the notification.
You know what? I've already got your name written down to save you one just in case. So.
Okay.
All right. If I use the stop button after feed hold button in Mach 4 on my Avid machine, can I just restart the program, or do I have to home and reset the X, Y, and Z?
Let's see. If I use the stop button, I guess he's talking about a reset button. And of course I don't use Mach 4. I'm a Mach 3 guy, but I'm sure it's not any different. But I would go ahead and rehome and then go back to it right then, instead of hoping it goes in the right place. Every time I've ever thought, oh yeah, it's going to go where I think it is, every time I've ever done that, it doesn't. And that hasn't been lately because I don't do that anymore. But there has been times when I go, oh yeah, I should be good. It remembers where it's at, and then I just broke myself of that habit. I always rehome now and go back because I always have the other thing saved as a G54. So you saw when the whole machine was cut off, and I had been out setting the zero here, and I just left the Z up about an inch or so above the material because I knew I was going to re-zero the Z once we started this tonight. So I, homed it, and it came home. Then I just hit go to zero, and it went right back to the center point of that material where it's supposed to be. So, all right, this, like I said, I don't have anything super fancy. What this is going to do is going to cut a bunch of text, some numbers, and some letters, and just some stuff to V-carve. And what I did just to try to make it halfway interesting, there's like 6 different lines, so I'm using 6 different fonts so we can, kind of see. I actually put a a question in the Gatton CNC Facebook group, what kind of fonts, the sign maker people like, but I only had one or two people answer me, and I didn't have any of those fonts. Well, one was the Batman font, but I'm tired of seeing that font. So, but I have, actually, I can show you what, because I even went official and printed out the little Vectric job setup sheet just so I could jot some notes on here. But I have one of my favorite fonts is Victorian. I've got that one. I've got the Acme font, Times New Roman, Arial Bold, One Stroke Script, and Trebuchet Italic. So those are just a few of the ones that I had and ones that I like to use for different things. Although I don't really make many signs. So I don't know how, I'm not going to run any dust collection. You can see I don't have my dust shoe on, and it's not going to make that big a mess. Well, I hope it don't, but if it does, it does. But so there won't be any noise from the dust collector. I don't know how loud this is going to be. Sean, I think you can mute me. I believe you can.
No, I can edit mic settings.
No, see the little microphone thing down below on the one that says Dave?
Yep.
Are you able to mute me?
There we go.
Okay. So have that ready, because when I fire this up, it might get loud, but I don't think it's going to be that loud. In fact, I think I'll be able to talk over it. So
Now, what are we engraving on?
we're doing the first one. This is just the plain pine board right here. So this is,
We
and
get a
this
lot of
takes
power,
about this,
Tom.
I'm sorry?
I said you got a lot of power.
A lot, yeah. Maybe too much.
it takes it's going to take about 5 or 6 minutes. I think about 6 minutes is the cycle time. But for the people who love watching CNCs run, we can switch the close up to that camera right there, and they can watch the chips fly. There you go. And I guess if we don't have any other questions, we'll go ahead and fire this thing up. And again, like I said, I apologize if it gets loud, but if it does, Sean will mute me right quick, and we should be good. All right, everybody ready?
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah, it doesn't sound that loud to me, but
No,
I won't get right next to it. I'm going to tell you, I can tell just by looking at the way I've got that board clamped down that none of these boards are flat. And I didn't surface them, so it may be deeper in some spots than others, but that's because of the crummy material.
that looks pretty good, though. Trade Skillers Anonymous, $4.99.
That's my buddy JR. He's a dadgum sponsor of this shooting match here.
Yeah.
He hits me up every week. I appreciate you, JR. Thank you, brother.
What feeds and speeds are you running, Dave?
All right, I asked Cody to give me his recommended starter settings, or I guess we are running at 85 inches a minute at 14,000 RPM, and the plunge rate is 40 inches a minute.
That's it on my older, slower machine. It never gets up to that speed on a V-bit because it's such short paths. Acceleration isn't fast enough, but I think your machine accelerates a lot faster than mine, so you probably are hitting those speeds pretty quick.
Yeah, I don't really run my rapids near as fast as what they advertise they'll go. In fact, I did a YouTube video on it, How Fast Will It Go, I think was the name of the video. And I did show that it will go as fast as they say it will, but that's just not really needed, I don't think. I usually keep my rapids set at about 600. And again, when it's only moving from, from here to here, it's not even going to get up to that. So I can tell by looking, it's doing a good job, but I can tell right here in the center, this board has kind of a hump to it. So especially on this Acme font right here, it's probably deeper than what it really should be. And in fact, this one down here looks a little bit light. I probably should have set, maybe on the next one, I'll reset the zero and set it maybe down here. But for crummy old pine, it's looking pretty good. In fact, it did part of that right there where a knot is.
It's like watching a campfire.
Yep.
Relaxing.
I certainly could be wrong, but in my mind, the down cut would help get rid of a lot of the fuzzies on the top edge. But that's just my thing.
Instead of pushing it out or up, it's pushing it down.
Yeah, Dave, when you lean down, it picks up much better the sound of the CNC.
Oh, okay. Well, I was trying to get a close look when you mentioned the fuzzies. There's nothing on the top, as you would expect with a downshear bit, but there is some stuff down inside, which again, this is about some of the crummiest pine you can get. So. All right, I'll see. I don't want to move that one. Let me pull this and see if I can hold it up. Maybe you can see it a little better.
Oh, wow.
That made quick work of it.
But especially in this one, like I said, when I lay it down, you could probably see it if I hold it like that. You can see it's, and I think it's gotten worse since I cut it the other day. But in here in this Acme font here, it's pretty deep. Of course, some of that's coming out, but yeah. And of course, you could always run a second pass through it and probably get a lot of that cleaned up. But some of this, even down in there, I can see some, but it's nice and clean on the top. Let's see if I can remember. This was the, let me get my cheat sheet. Okay, we got the Victorian here, the Acme font, Times New Roman here. That's the Arial bold. That's the one stroke script, and then that's the Trebuchet italic right there. So
Nice.
came out pretty nice. So do we have any comments or questions while I set up this other one? Everybody can probably see too. I'm using this real fancy registration thing. I have my holes here, and most of the time for some of this stuff, there's nothing much I do that's really very critical. So I usually don't even bother getting out the dowel pins to stick in there. I just eyeball it with the edge of the blank, and use these two clamps, flip the other way, and just tighten them down, use them as stops. And then I have one over here, so I've got 3 points of contact, and that's pretty much how I roll on whenever I'm doing something like this.
Thank you, Dan. Hey, if anyone has a question, put QQQ in front of it. Makes it a little easier to find.
Okay, any questions or anything before I fire up this this next one?
Got a very impressive from George. And
Okay.
thanks, Cody.
Thanks, George.
Don't thank me. I didn't do anything. I just pushed the button. You know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mark's
you know how
here.
CNCs are. That you just throw it on there and push the button. It does it all. There's no work to it.
Yep, Mark, with all the inside centers are still in the letters. Not easy to do on pine, which is very true.
Hey, I didn't even think about that. Let me see if
Yeah.
I can.
They like to chip out. That looks smooth or clean.
Well, the only ones that are really in danger of that would be the right here where the E center of that E is on Jenny and the Groovee. But yeah, they're good and solid. There's no tear out or chip out at all. Looks like. Like I said, there's some fuzzies. Not on the top. It's really nice on the top, but this is pine. So, and again, if you were going to really make something out of this, which this is just a sample that'll end up in my fire pit. But what I would do is I would look at it, and I always tell folks, look at it good before you unclamp it, because if you see that there's some stuff that's going to be really hard to sand or whatever, maybe drop the Z a couple thou and run a second pass, and that'll clean a lot of that stuff out on the bottom. In fact, we'll do that with this one because I think we're going to have plenty of time. This only takes about 5 minutes and 17 seconds is all it took. This one I can tell is bowed up a little bit too. But what we'll do with this one, and we'll be able to see the contrast better with this one since I put the stain on this one. If it looks like there's still some fuzzies in the bottom, we'll run a second pass and see if that cleans it up. So unless somebody else has got a question, I'll go ahead and fire it up. And again, Sean, if you think it's too loud for the viewers,
you got it.
Just hit the mute button.
The power is in my hands.
That's right. You are the one with the power tonight, buddy.
B. Todd Cox has a question. Has anyone used a touch probe to do surface mapping to have Mach 3 or 4 adjust G code on the fly for the non-planetary that Dave is experiencing?
I have not. I'll just leave that there. I don't do anything fancy enough to use all of that.
I haven't played.
See, actually, if I was going to make a sign out of this stuff, like I said, I cut this and I prepared this stuff, and then I think it's bowed up some more since I've done that. And when I saw that piece, I thought, well, I could take it over and flip it over, and then that way I'm pulling the corner. But it's not worth all that, I'll run it like it is, and this is just to see how the bit does the text. And like I said, it's beautiful on the top edge. There's no fuzzies at all on the top. So, all right, I'm going to hit the button again, and we'll run this one.
All right, we have a question for Cody. What part of the world are your bits made in?
Right here in Phoenix, Arizona,
Oh, good old USA.
US of A.
This looks like a question for Dave. Are you going full depth in one pass?
Well, I have the. It probably is because I have the depth set to about 0.3, I think. And when I check the tool path uh, on the Mach 3, it's showing it's the deepest it's going is 0.27 something, I believe. So.
Cody, who designed the Groovee logo?
Actually, so on all of my bits, it's been organic by nature, and people from the community were just sending me logos, and I have some friends here locally that are in the Onefinity group that was nice enough to make the Groovy logo for me.
That is cool.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not loud at all. And don't forget to put hashtag Jenny in.
Yeah, hashtag Jenny. We're going to be giving away downtown Jenny a little later.
I like Wade. I can watch CNC all day. Oh wait, a minute. I did.
I am. I don't know. I may be a rarity, but I'm not. I'm not much of a watcher. I'm gonna hit the button and go do something else, guy.
I don't know. Let's see. We're getting Mark all hot and bothered here. This is avid porn. Has got. Excuse me. This avid porn has got me itching to make some chips.
I guess I've just been around this stuff too long because, especially doing decarb stuff and 2D stuff like that, it's just. I won't say it's. Well, I'll say it. It is a little boring because I've seen so much of it. I still like watching the rotary axis stuff or the multi-axis stuff. That's more impressive to me than this stuff. But
We got a question for Cody. Is there any difference in your compression bits design, I can't even spit it out, geometry, compared to any others we see in the market, like depth and transition?
Yeah, actually, so all of my bits, I've specifically tailored them towards less rigid machines. So the things that I've done that's unique with my bits, with Vinny specifically, I put a really short upshear geometry. It's only 0.1. What's nice about that is it'll allow you to do a minimum depth of cut of an 1/8 inch, which is perfect on like my belt-driven machines. You know, I can cut an 1/8 inch all day long. The other thing I do too is the core diameter. I put a large core diameter on all my tools, and the idea behind it is the thicker the core diameter, the more rigid the bit is, the more it manage like the harmonics and the vibrations, which will yield a better finish. So on all of the bits I make, I give it a custom core diameter and then the cutting geometry.
Okay.
That's a good question. Thanks, JR.
Okay, that one came out really nice, especially since this one's stained because you can see the contrast better. But I'm going to run it again without ever moving it, and I'm not even going to drop the Z down or anything. I'm just going to run a second run and let it go through and trace all that over again and see if it will get rid of that little bit of stuff that's in that D. It's really not bad at all, except in this font, and it's because I know it's a little deeper than it should be. And it's just that kind of font anyway. It's you see what it is. It's a wide font anyhow. So I'm gonna hit it again, and we'll run that one again real quick.
All right, we have a question for you, Dave. Why do you use Mach 3? My machine, like your Avid 4848, came with Mach 4. What is the difference?
Well, I'm not going to sit here and try to explain the differences because you can go to the, Newfangled Solutions, whatever, and they have a chart that compares Mach 3 to the Hobby Mach 4 and the commercial Mach 4. So you can look and see all of that. But the biggest reason I didn't is because they tried to sell me Mach 4. But it's $200, and I already have a license and have had for almost 15. A long time. I've had a Mach 3 license for a long time, and it doesn't expire. You just keep using it and using it, and the Mach 3 does everything I need it to do, and there was no sense in me. I mean, this thing costs enough the way it was, without adding another $200 to the tab just to get the new Mach 4. Well, I know a lot of people don't like Mach 3 and they think it's old technology and stuff, but it just works. It just works.
I agree. That one I do agree. Question for Cody. What grade type of carbide do you use in your cutters or for your cutters?
So typically there's two different types of grades that people use on carbide bits. There's the 8% and the 10%. The 10% carbide, I believe it's a lot harder, which makes it way more brittle. So I use the 8% carbide.
Okay. Let's see. Ryan's asking me, what progress have I made on my parts machine? It's still in parts. Actually not. Dave? Here, I'm going to shoot this up. Dave sent me the file for this, and this is the Z-axis, and I'm really impressed by it. And it went together pretty good. And this is PLA and then PET-G. Nice thing is I already had the rails and everything for it.
What kind of infill do you have on that, Sean?
This one I ran with seven walls and 45% infill. So it's actually coming along pretty good. Next we'll be cutting out the aluminum for the gantry and stuff. Let's see.
I'm really wanting to go lean over there and look close, but since Rob told me that this thing will be loud if I do, I'll wait till it finishes. It's almost done.
Okay. Okay, this is from LGR FBS. Do you use G1, G2, and tool data, or do you let the preparation program, handle tools, radius, offset?
I don't I think he's talking about in Mach 3. I don't use any of that. I use Vectric and just whatever tools, what I have set up in the tool database.
Okay.
And that seems to work. Vectric can probably do it better than I can.
We have one for Cody. Are your bits carbide tipped or full carbide? What's the difference?
Yeah, they're full carbide. A lot of times on, so this is just a 60-degree V-bit that I got from the local hardware store here. On these bits, it'll have like a steel body on it, and then they actually braze on carbide tips and then go back in there and grind everything. The difference really is you have two different metals, you're welding one together, then you're grinding it in. With mine, it's all solid carbide, so it's perfectly balanced. Some of the stuff you get from China, you don't know what you're going to get. They might be unbalanced or just manufacturing defects in the process. So for me, I personally hate brazed carbide, so I just try not to use them at all. That's part of the reason why I wanted to start making my own V-bits too. So they're all solid carbide, not brazed.
If you're going to do it right, do it yourself.
All right. They did a pretty good job of getting rid of the so-called fuzzies that were down in the groove. There's still maybe a little bit of stuff down in this one, but all the other ones look pretty good. And again, this is this is just that type of font. That Acme font is using wide letters anyway, so it's deeper than the rest of them. But this looks pretty good. Now I notice when I look close here, it looks like there is a little. You can tell the tear out now because of having this stain on here. So a little bit right there on the edge of that 6. And again, it's probably just as crummy pine because everywhere else it looks really good. So that would be that would work well for any kind of signage I've ever done. All right, now we're going to get to the two pieces that are masked. Just throwing a little dust here. I'm going to make a little disclaimer here too. Full transparency. This Aura mask and this is the Aura mask, and this dollar store. This is Duck brand though. That's pretty good stuff. But this is, I'm pretty sure I got this at a dollar store. I don't know whether it was Dollar General or Family Dollar or what, but one of those. And it's shelf liner. But full disclosure on this stuff has been sitting out here in my shop for probably a good 3, 4, maybe even longer years. So I don't know if age has anything to do with its effectiveness or not, but it is pretty old stuff. Well, we're get locked in here. Let's see. What
question: Did you do the exact same depth on this as the others? I'm assuming.
I did. I just hit the button again to run another pass. I didn't drop the Z down.
So everything's identical.
Yeah, and it probably would have cleaned it up a little more if I'd have come down, 2, 3, 4 thousandths or so. All right. Any other questions, comments before I make it noisy again?
Ryan, when are we going to see JR back on the panel again? He has paid his dues.
I think, yeah, he owns the show now. He can come back whenever he's ready. I mean, I sent him a message, I think, a while back, and he's welcome anytime. And that goes for anybody that just because you've been on here one time, don't mean you can't come back. We have no special rules here.
Question for Cody: the solid carbide is in the shank too?
Yes.
Question. Yes.
The entire thing's solid carbide.
Oh, one thing I was going to do now that you got that camera on me. This was, Cody was talking about this is the compression, and I don't know, you probably can't tell it that good trying to hold it up here.
There you go.
But it's got a much shorter transition than what most bits have. But I don't know, what is that, Cody, about 100 thousandths or something?
Yep. It's 100,000.
Okay. And while I'm still standing here right in front of the big camera here, I'll pull out this one too. This is, and I've already showed you the little video, but this is what we're going to be giving away later tonight. Put hashtag Jenny in the chat if you just joined us. This is the Downtown Jenny, which works excellent, by the way. I have used that one. I haven't done the compression one yet, but I have used the Downtown on a couple of things. All right, let's fire up and see if we can rip off some of this ore mask.
Awesome.
Everybody ready?
Yep. I have a question. Do I have a YouTube channel? Yes and no. I am out there, but I don't do much on YouTube. If you do want to see what I have, you can go to Klondike, KlawndYke. Very much.
You can put a link there in the chat, Sean, if you haven't already.
I'll be honest, there's not much to see on there right now. The contrast with that blue really shows.
Yeah, that's it. From this distance, it looks perfect. I've never had good luck with Oramask, so I'm curious how you people really use it.
This is my first time using it. Actually, it's my first time using any kind of masking, and so I don't know what to expect, and I especially don't know what to expect from using Oramask that is 3, 4, 5 years old. So yeah. It looks like it's sticking down okay. I did, I don't know if I mentioned it, but I did use this roller, sanded, took a little piece of 400 grit, kind of hand sanded just to smooth it a little bit, and then kind of use this roller to rub it in. But that's it. No, other than that, no special prep
Well, you
for this.
pretty much just answered Mark Lindsay's question. How did you prepare the wood before you applied the Oramask and the cheap shelf liner?
Yeah, same thing, Mark. I took a piece of in fact, it's laying around here somewhere. Right here. I took a piece of 400 that's already been used and just kind of went over it by hand just to make sure it felt halfway smooth, wiped the dust off of it, and then stuck that stuff on there and took that roller and kind of rolled it in. And I know it, probably the right way to do this, if I was an official sign maker and I was trying to sell this stuff or whatever, I guess you would, sand it, maybe spray some stuff on it, put sanding sealer or spray lacquer or something. I think some people do to get the Oramask to stick. But as you can see, this is crappy pine, and it is the ore mask is hanging on. So, and I rolled that on there yesterday, so it's had a whole more than 24 hours to come undone. So.
BD Cox, I find that sanding and quick coat of spray shellac will allow Aura Mask to adhere to almost anything really well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I always have heard of people doing an extra step than what I did here. Todd said he's never had any luck with Aura Mask on bare wood. Well, it's not done yet. We'll see. Although it looks like it's going to make it. And it actually looks like that board is maybe thinner than the other ones, because that sixth where the Times New Roman was, that didn't even get all of it.
Let's see here.
That's, I know we're just looking at this from a distance. So that's amazing. That looks, I see zero peel off. That's really good.
Well, maybe the trick, Rob, is to buy some Aura Mask, stick it on the shelf somewhere, forget about it for about 3, 4, 5 years, and then go with it.
It's kind of like wine. You need to age it first. Let
You
it
gotta age
mature.
it. That's vintage Aura Mask.
I think the fact that it's a down shear bit really helps a lot too, because it's not pulling out.
I think that's where the credit should go instead of the Aura Mask on this one, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
We have a
got
question.
really. Go ahead.
This is from Dave. I don't want to say the last name. I apologize. I'll probably destroy it. I know this is a dumb question, but how do you lower the bit to make another pass 0.002 deeper in Mach 4?
Okay, I'm actually going to do that. Only instead of doing 2,000ths, I think I'm going to go 5. See if we can clean this up, and again, then we'll be able to see if it'll pull that Aura Mask off after it's already got an edge on it. But I'll show you how I do it. It's probably not the right way, but I'm going to show you how I do it.
And no question is a dumb question in my book.
Yeah. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come over here to Mach 3, and I'm going to tell it to go to 0. So it's going to come up and go right down there to where 0 is. Right? Hopefully that's what it does. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, this is not the right way to do it, but this is how I do it, because most of the things I do don't really matter. If this was a sign, you wouldn't want to put a mark right there. You know, you'd have a little divot or something. But since I don't care about that, I'm now going to come over here, and I know you guys can't see this screen, but I'm going to come to my MDI in Mach 3, and I'm going to say Z minus 0.005. And then I'm going to hit OK. You can't even hear it. It just went. You couldn't even hear it or probably even see it. But now it's at -5, so now I'll just re-zero that Z. Come back over here to my program run. Raise this back up. Hit cycle start, and we're back in business, only now we're 5 thousandths farther down.
Looks like Mark had problems with edge threading when it carved, apparently with the Aura Mask. And then he also said, you have to age it properly.
Yeah, you probably tried to use it too soon. Let it sit around for a few years. And apparently, now Mark, when you tried that, did you use a roller or anything to try to get it stuck down really good? I'm sure you probably did, because I think I've seen you do that on other things you do. I gotta say, I'm really impressed with this bit, as well as the 5-year-old Oramask. Or 3 or 4. I know I bet it's every bit of 4, if not 5 years old. Now that I think about it, because it's been up under that workbench, and I've had that workbench a long time.
Cody's over there sweating. We're using old Oramask on cheap pine. We're expecting to get good results. We're giving him a true test here. This shouldn't work as good as it is, honestly.
Well, I didn't want to make it too easy for him,
Yeah.
You can use this for an advertisement, Cody.
Thank you, Bob P. I appreciate that. All super chats are highly appreciated.
Well, it's now about 3 years old, so here's hoping it's aged enough. And yes, he did use a roller.
Now, I know we're already at the hour, and we've still got another one to do, but this is an interesting thought here, because I have thought about that, but it would really be an unfair comparison, because all the other bits I have, like this is a 60 degree, I think this is 5/8 diameter, this is a CMT.
That's the exact
And
one I use normally.
It's got a lot of miles on it, so like I said, it wouldn't really be a fair comparison, because all the other ones I have. Now, if I had a brand new one, yeah, it'd be fun to do that. All right. Yeah, that board is really thin down there on that edge, looks like. Oh, maybe it hadn't got to it yet. I apologize. I'm sitting there leaning over, and I know y'all are hearing all that noise. Yeah, it's still a little low right there on that spot.
I'm curious how it does on the $1.99 stuff.
Yeah, that. And I'm going to tell you, like I said, I bought this at the dollar store or Dollar General or one of those kind of places. And this is shelf liner. But look how much of this you get. Let me find the. Let's see if it says. There's 30 feet of this stuff in here.
How do you think it would hold up to spray paint? Think it'd bleed through?
Oh.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. Not right now, but all this stuff that I'm doing, or the two with the mask, the Oramask, and the shelf stuff, I'll come back out here tomorrow and I'll paint them, and then I'll show them next week.
Cool.
On the show, and we'll see if there's any bleed through and stuff like that.
Yeah, as far as the vinyl, you shouldn't have any. My thoughts.
I've never had any bleed through on the Oramask, but what I do is before I put the Oramask on, like you had said, I put a thin coat of either spray lacquer or spray shellac or something on there, just a light coat. And then I put the Oramask on, do the carving, spray it, take the Oramask off, and I never did any bleed or anything.
Yeah, that's a good point. Since I haven't put any spray lacquer or anything like that on it, if it doesn't get any bleed through, it's got to be because the masking stays really tight.
Yeah, Mark says it'll bleed if it isn't sealed before paint.
Well, I'm always worried about the part that's cut. That's even if you coated it first. Now this area is cut. That's not sprayed, so it's going to bleed through where it makes contact into the wood. So I'd always put a clear coat right now at this point, then put spray paint later.
Yeah.
Okay,
I always use acrylic paint. Acrylic's so thick, it never bleeds.
Are you talking about putting the spray lacquer or whatever right over the masking and everything?
Yeah, because where you've cut, that of course is exposed now, even if you something early, so it'll bleed from the side in. At least my experience.
It'll act like an end grain. Just soak it up.
Especially oak. Oak is the worst one. I don't know how pine works, but oak is really bad with that.
Okay. All right. I can do that. I've got some spray stuff in there. I most of that stuff I've learned to not keep it out here in the shop, just because one, it gets really hot out here, and in the wintertime it gets cold. So if I leave it out here, it doesn't hurt it so much in the summertime, but then if I forget to take it in, then I've ruined it, because it gets too cold out here and gets messed up. So I got where every time I come out here and spray lac or something, I'll take the stuff back into the house. Okay, let me hold this up where y'all can see it. I come out pretty good, and I will come out here tomorrow and do like Rob said. I'll spray a little stuff on it, and then come back and do the spray paint. Looks other than the board, like I said, right there, the board got thin right there. Because even after going down another 5 thousandths, it didn't get that part. But that's not the bit's fault. That is the crummy board, and they're all pretty much they're all cut out of the same board. So this one you can see on the back side, it's got a knot right there. So we will no doubt hit that at some point when we're doing the, let's see, if I put it here, that should be where the Times New Roman is. By the way, if y'all have just joining, make sure you put in the chat, #Jenny, and we'll be drawing for that Downtown Jenny here in just a little bit. Yeah, this one's probably bowed the worst of any of them. So this will be interesting to see if the shelf liner can hang on, or if it gets ripped up into a mess. Any other questions or comments we need to hit before I fire it up?
Slowly going through them. Some fonts I have. Let's see here. I put in a start depth.
Okay, I see somebody was saying put the spray on half the sign.
I missed.
Yeah, and then paint it, and that way we'll see if there's, the side without the spray should probably have some bleed through and stuff like that. But that's a good idea. We'll do half of it with the finish and half without, and then paint and see what happens. All right, we're on the last go around here, and I'm going to leave this at 5 thousandths farther down than where it was too, because that's not going to hurt anything. So here we go.
Dave, do you hand program easy jobs?
Well, I don't. If it's if it's easy, but I don't really do easy jobs. I mean, most of the stuff I'm running is complicated enough that Vectric's going to do a much better job than me, and a lot faster. Because I can draw stuff real fast, but to sit there and try to program all the G code and stuff, used to do that, but don't have to anymore. That's why you pay $700 for eCarve Pro.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh.
So far, the shelf liners Hanging on. I wonder if there's been that many people that have tried these downtown V-bits. I know they haven't been out that long, especially the 60 degree. But I mean, you think about it, because of having that down shear action, if you can get by using cheap shelf liner as opposed to the aura mask, that's a big deal.
A different one. This is a different one. Hashtag Jenny, of course, got to put that in. My most successful method has been the sheetrock mud. Unlike aura mask, which sometimes fails, mud never does.
That's a good idea.
I know a guy who did a video on that one time, actually twice.
Yeah, I think it's that drum guy. That's just, you're probably right. That probably works fantastic and never fails. That's just seems like a lot of work for the kind of stuff I do.
It sands off so fast. I would bet that in the time it takes to put down aura mask and peel it back off, I bet the sheetrock mud is faster, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
Of course,
Well, I can't really say because I haven't done the sheetrock mud.
you have to wait 15, 20 minutes for it to dry. So there is some time you have to wait, but
Yeah.
it's not production time. It's not like you're doing anything, but you have to wait for it.
Yep.
I will say this, and again, I don't know if it's because my stuff was old or not, but both of I know I got both of those at the same time. So they're, however old they are, they're the same age. But if I had my choice of putting one on over the other, I would use the shelf line. It was easier to put on than the aura mask.
It's a lot cheaper too.
Yeah. And I don't know. I don't have a. See, this just had some tape on it. I'd already taken it out of the wrapper that it was in. So I don't know how much is here, but I can tell there's not near as much here as the 30 feet that's was in that shelf liner.
Gotta show off Cody's shirt here.
My Revive Christian Fellowship t-shirt.
Let's see here. Well, Michael, I saw that drum guy's video and tried spackling. Worked well.
Yeah, that drum guy's pretty good. Really.
Can anyone, well, here we go. Can anyone here read ISO NCN code? Nope.
All right, now this one did get all of the here. This here, of course, this is a real thin spot on that font anyway.
Did it tear up on any of the corners, like on the 7 or the inside of the letters?
The O's.
Nope, it's
Wow.
Nice.
shelf liner did every bit as good as the aura mask. Really,
Yeah, I'm really curious what it looked like after you paint it.
there's no
Yeah,
difference.
I'm impressed. That's amazing.
Yeah, I wish I could remember exactly where I got that now, but I know it was at either a Dollar General, a Family Dollar. There's about 16 different types of those dollar stores. But whichever one it was, that's where I got it. And I don't know what happened. I brought that stuff home. I was going to do something, and I set it up under that workbench, and then something happened, and I never did, get around to using it. And then when I thought about setting this up, I thought, oh, that'll be perfect. I'll cut some samples, and well, like I said, I'm impressed for one with a bit, but I really didn't think it wasn't going to work like I figured it would. But I am impressed with the shelf liner for hanging on like it did. That worked really great. I will do what whoever it was that mentioned that a while ago. I think it was Earl or somebody. I will come out here and I'll spray the left half or the right half or one, half of it. And then after that's all dried, I'll get some black paint or something, and we'll be able to easily see whether the paint bleeds under the mask without the lacquer stuff on it.
Question for Cody. What do you think about the mud? Would it be abrasive and wear on the cutter? Which is a good question.
I really don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know. Maybe. Do you think it would create a lot of heat when you're cutting through the mud? Because heat's the number one thing that breaks down a cutting edge on any tool. So if you put that drywall mud on there and it cuts clean and it doesn't get super hot, I mean, it might be okay. I'm not sure.
My thought is so thin. You're not really putting a lot on.
I mean, really, one of the main reasons why I did this bit to begin with was, I see these posts all the time in the Facebook groups of the Oramask lifting, and people are always asking questions like, hey, what can I do to, make this better? And, I've read all the forums about how you prep your material. But even sometimes when you can do the most perfect prep and still have the Oramask lifting. And, that was what really stemmed the idea of doing the downshear V-bit, was to help eliminate that and just make it easier for people. So I was really happy that you did the liner and the Oramask. So that was kind of a neat comparison. I haven't seen that before, so that was really cool.
I was saving it just for this moment.
It was years in the making.
That's right. Before I even knew you, I thought about this.
And that downshear,
somebody will invent a downshear V-bit, and we'll use that.
The downshear would work good on plywood too, wouldn't it? Or veneer.
I think the bit itself is going to work good on anything.
Now, is there any residue left on the bit, or is the bit actually clean?
Well, let me. I'm not going to reach over the table. Let me. And in case I haven't heard anybody ask, but in case anybody's wondering how I got that to move back out of the way, as that was just put in manually by editing the G-code notepad. So, which I like to do. I like for the thing to get up, and always make sure I bring it up high enough that it's going to clear any of these things, because you got to remember, when it's running, it's not going to finish here and go straight back. It's over here somewhere, so it may be crossing the line of a path. So you always bring it up way higher, especially if you got plenty of Z height like this one. Bring it up way higher, I think what I did was 2 inches, and you can see that it's not going to hit, even if it goes right over one of my clamps. So let's take a look at this thing. Well, I'm not going to be able to see anything without my glasses.
That's right. My wife says I don't look too good either.
I just saw something.
All right, now I don't know how good you're going to be able to see this. I'll try to turn it.
Clean.
It looks very clean.
Yeah.
I mean, for being in this crappy pine stuff, and I know it went through at least one knot.
Oh,
So
I was
that-
more curious about the adhesive.
It's yeah, it's still nice and clean.
That zirconium nitride should really help with, having that high lubricity value on, just having stuff just slide right off.
Yeah, I am thoroughly impressed.
Question.
Like I said, not only with the bit, because I knew it was going to be okay. That's why I wasn't afraid to have you on, Cody. I knew I couldn't make you look bad by having something mess up, because I knew the bit would perform. If anything went wrong, it might be the vintage Aura mask flying up or something.
It turned out good. Okay, question for Cody. Does your wife write all the notes and you sign also?
So
Penmanship is beautiful.
my wife does have really nice penmanship. You know what? Honestly, man, my wife, she's so awesome. She's so supportive. And a lot of times when I do a pre-order, I mean, I had over 200 something orders when all these V-Bits went out. And as soon as I got them out and it was like ready to ship, that was 200 shipments. And I sign every single pack slip. I always write a note just saying, how much I appreciate you guys, and just to say thanks. And sometimes I call in my wife for some backup, and she helps me, sit down and write out some of the notes. And yeah, so I mean, most of the time I'm the one signing them, but when I have a ton of orders like that, she'll jump in and help. We have 3 kids and we homeschool 4 kids. I'm sorry, 4 kids, and we homeschool. So she's got her hands full, and the fact that she's willing to come out and help me, I mean, yeah, she's great. She does awesome. I'm very thankful for her help.
Good wives and girls are good to have.
Yeah.
And vice
And
versa.
you know what? And my little girls sometimes too, like they'll come up there and they'll want to sign one of the shippers too, and they'll draw a heart or a rainbow or something on there. And my wife and I were actually talking about it, and we thought it'd be fun to make it almost like a game. So do you remember, when I was a kid anyways, there was a lollipops that had the Indian and the star that was on the wrapper. And if you got the whole Indian and the whole star, you could go and get a free lollipop. I don't know if you guys ever remember that or not, but we thought it'd be kind of fun if we did something like that. Like if my girls just randomly picked a packing slip and drew a heart or a rainbow or whatever, that I'd offer like a special 20% discount or something, just kind of make it fun. So that way you get the whole family involved. Have the little ones and my wife.
I think Todd needs to go shopping for some Genie bits. Yeah, or maybe he'll win one tonight.
Cool.
Let's see. Should we do the giveaway?
Yeah, I think so.
We're already running a little bit long, but that's okay.
I will apologize if I missed anybody's questions or anything. This is my first time, so.
You did great, Sean. Man, good job.
He's doing a good job here. Let's see. Let's go back real quick. We'll scroll up and down and see if we. And I need to take these out because we've already hit on those, I think.
Thanks, Wade. That's awesome.
Okay. I don't see any more. I think.
Oh, Mark's got one.
Okay.
Would you make a video on editing the G code to move the bit back? I have people asking me to do one.
It would be like 30 seconds long.
Yeah.
In fact, I could show you right here. If you want to give me a minute to get a screen share going, I can show you. I don't have that program, but
Yeah.
I can just pull something up.
I oftentimes do that, Dave. If I'm doing a V-carve and my board's not flat, and let's say in some areas it doesn't really cut as deep as I want it to, I might go and just select that geometry and then drop it in Z just for those features, and then rerun that number or that letter or whatever. So that way I don't have to rerun the entire program.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're saying. Yeah, I've done that. I've done that too. Find the spot where it's at.
And then I'll just send out new G code that's a little bit deeper on the Z.
Okay, now I'm trying to open this, and I guess I got too much going on out here for this old hokey computer, because it's not opening. But anyway, it's basically you post your code for Invectric, Aspire, VCar Pro, whatever. You bring your G code in, and the very last line, it tells it to go back to 0. I mean, that's what it does by default. Now, you can change it in Vectric too, but it's so easy to do. I don't ever do it in Vectric. A lot of things I leave Vectric alone so that it'll be the default, and I just change stuff in Notepad. But you just pull it up, scroll all the way to the bottom, and you'll see the line right. You'll see a line that says G0, X0, Y0. And right above that line will be whatever the Z is telling you to go up. And in my case, I keep my Vectric set for 20 millimeter or 0.8 or whatever it is. I think it's 0.8. So what I do is I just go over there to that line and put a 2 in front of it. So it's 2.8.
Oh,
or a lot of times I'll make it just 2. And then I go down to the next line. And if I just want it to move straight back, I just, like in this case, I told the Y 15. And I mean, it's super easy. You're hardly changing anything, but it makes it so much easier when it gets done at audit. Because the first thing you're going to do, if you don't do that, is move it out of the way anyway, so you can see what you're looking at. So I always have everything set up to raise up plenty high enough so it's going to clear the clamps, go back, sometimes straight back, sometimes, just depends on where I want it to go. And then you don't really have to worry about it coming back. When you saw when I go to start another program, you just hit go, and the first thing it does is it comes forward, stops at 0, 0, because that's one of the first lines in the beginning of the code, and then it takes off and does what it's going to do. So super easy to do.
You're manually going in there and making those X and Y moves?
Yep.
Is that what you said?
Said what now?
So are you going in there and manually changing the G code and
Yeah, I'm just opening G, because you just click on it and it'll double click and it'll open up in Notepad. At least that's the way I have mine set up.
Yeah.
And then as soon as it opens, I just scroll all the way to the bottom.
So
and it's those last couple of lines there, or it's not the last line, because that would be like an M30 or something.
Yeah. I one thing that's really nice. So using Carveco, I'll
try to see if I can get another one open while you're. Go ahead, Cody. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
So using Carveco, I design a lot of fixtures and do production work. Well, a lot of times what I'm able to do in Carveco is I'll set my origin, say on the bottom left-hand corner of my fixture, but I actually have a different starting, like 0. So even though I set my origin on the fixture and all my G code comes from that point, when I start my program, I can actually make the Z go up and then go to a dwelling spot. So that way I can load my fixture and unload my fixture after the program's done, instead of going all the way back to the origin. It's like an offset within an offset. And that's super handy because, sorry.
Okay, I got something to open here, so I'll share my screen. It'll take me about 2 seconds to show you this, because it's really super easy.
Yeah.
That's in my post processor. I set G53 0 as the last line, so it always goes to the max height automatically.
Okay. Yeah, and so you can put stuff in Vectric to make it do what I'm doing here. It's just that I leave Vectric alone, and well, you'll see how easy. Like, here's the top of the program. I just come all the way down to the bottom. And there you see the M09 and M30. So right here's the lines I'm talking about. See, there's my 0.8 on the Z. So if I wanted it to come up to make sure it missed clamps, I'd just hit 2. Now it's at 2.8. And here, if I want it to go straight back 15 inches, that's it. Those two.
Yep.
That's it. That's all. That's all it takes. So now the next time I run this, it's going to run back and crash. But that's okay. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Not much to it.
Awesome.
And now I've got this screen locked up, and this is the screen with the
giveaway.
The giveaway on there. It's behind there somewhere. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Man, I'm wondering if we're getting a storm because I'm just hearing something hitting my door, my metal door. All right, let's do the giveaway. I guess we're about an hour and a half. It's about time for us to get out of here. Appreciate the good crowd tonight. We've had a bunch of folks watching, awesome. And some of you have hit the thumbs up. I'll try to shame the rest of you into doing it. Let's come over here and hit the share screen and hit this one. All right, we got 87 in the thing, so we'll give you another minute before we hit the draw.
Well, while we're waiting, we have another question.
Okay. Wait.
I think it's, go for it.
Probably why do Hobby CNC call CNC program for G code? At my work, they call it ISO code or program. I don't know. You're in Sweden, right? I guess it's always been called just G code to me.
Yeah.
G and M code is basically what it is. And of course, there's other letters too. You got P's and F and S, and
I,
all kinds of stuff. But most everybody just calls it G code.
R.
All right, we've got still looks like it's stuck on 87, so I'm going to hit it here. Good luck, everybody. And again, this is for. Let me show it one more time here. This is for the Downtown Jenny. And good luck, everybody. And here we go. Denny Dawkins.
Congratulations.
That name sounds familiar. I think he's won before.
I think he's won before too.
Yeah. All right.
Well, Denny, I got your bit right here, man. It's got your name on it.
All righty. Congratulations. All right. If he has one before, he knows the drill, but I'll show him just in case. Man, I don't know what that. No, I wonder if it's hailing or something out there. Well, either that or it's bugs trying to hit because I got this all lit up.
Oh.
Maybe it's bugs hitting the door trying to get in.
Good Lord. So, Rob, I don't know about you, but we've been having some monsoon action here. Like, literally trees breaking. Like, it's been insane. Well, every single time that happens, we have bugs like crazy that just come out of the woodworks. Like, I don't know if you're experiencing that or not, but
I haven't seen the bugs, but those dust storms, they start between here and Tucson. We have the dust storms really bad here. Really bad.
Okay, let's back up for a second. Sorry to interrupt, Rob. But Denny, being the outstanding person he is, says that he has won before and wants to draw again. And this time, I did not exit out of this. So I can draw again right here. So hopefully everybody hadn't left.
We're down to 85 viewers. Some people left too early.
Yeah, some people. Well, they may not know they know, and you don't really necessarily have to be watching to win, but you got to be watching to know that you won, so that you can know to contact Cody, because he's not going to know your shipping info. So anyway, here we go. We're going to draw again. Thanks, Denny. That was pretty cool.
Awesome.
That you did that, and let me find that because I'm sure that's what I saw. in the comments. Does anybody see it? Okay, yeah, here he is.
Oop.
He says, I won this one before. Please draw again. All right, Denny, thank you. That's pretty awesome. So we're going to draw again. So for the second time, good luck, everybody. And here we go.
Share
Tim
screen.
Keller.
It's not on the right screen to show it. You're not sharing
Oh, I
the
wasn't
screen.
showing it? Ah. Okay.
There we go.
Keller.
Okay. Well, yeah, I hadn't closed it out. So there it is, Tim Keller. But y'all missed all the drama. But anyway, yeah, Tim Keller, congratulations. So now I don't think he's won before. So make sure you contact Cody at www.cadencemfgdesign.com. Send him your shipping info, and he will send you one of those fantabulous downtown Jennies. So anyway, let me real quick thank everybody for tuning in, because I know they're going to be dropping like flies now because we're running way long, and the drawing's over, so everybody's going to be bugging out. Yeah, dropping like flies. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in tonight.
Yep.
Yes.
Thank you, Sean, for doing an awesome job filling
You're
in for the
welcome.
Wolfman. You did fantastic. Thank you, Paul, for joining us tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. Rob, thanks for joining us. I'm glad you were free and could come join the panel too. And Cody, thank you so much, not just for being here, but for doing everything you do for the community, and especially sponsoring this drawing every stinking week. In case people don't know, he does this every week. So
It's my pleasure, man. I love doing this stuff. So thank you.
Thanks, Cody.
And maybe we need to do some more live action stuff. That was a lot of fun. Not that I'm any good at making stuff, but I can put some crummy pine on there and do something. But
You should put that compression bit to work, man. That's my favorite bit.
okay, yeah. Well, I have another one from. Well, I don't even know what company it is, and I don't think I've ever used it. It was one of those things where I bought three. I bought a compression bit, an upcut, and a downcut, and I don't think I've ever used a compression. And I've never used yours. I have used the downcut. I
love
haven't used it.
For me, it's like life changing. I love compression bits. They're my favorite.
All right. Well, I'll have to try it out. Maybe we'll do something with that. Then, since I have one of those, we can show that off with something. All right, we're getting out of here. Let me get over here where I can hit the magic button. Thanks again for everybody tuning in. It's been a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the thumbs up on the way out. Looks like I did guilt a bunch of them in the hitting it. So appreciate you guys. And we will see y'all next week. Good night, everybody.
See ya. Thank you.